Nelson Mandela's life story is a remarkable journey of a man who became a global icon for peace and justice, leading the fight against apartheid in South Africa, and ultimately becoming the country's first black president. Early life and education. Born on July 18, 1918, in the village of Mvezo in the Eastern Cape of South Africa, Rolihlahla Mandela belonged to the Thembu royal family. His father was a chief, and Mandela received his early education in a local missionary school. He was given the English name Nelson by one of his teachers. After his father's death, he was raised by the Thembu regent, Jongintaba Dalindyebo, who provided him with a privileged upbringing and exposure to tribal customs and governance. Mandela pursued higher education at the University of Fort Hare, where he studied law. He was expelled for his involvement in student protests, but later completed his degree through the University of South Africa. He then moved to Johannesburg to work as a law clerk, where he witnessed firsthand the racial injustices and inequalities of the apartheid system. Political activism and the fight against apartheid. In 1944, Mandela joined the African National Congress, ANC, a liberation movement seeking to end racial segregation and discrimination. He became a key figure in the ANC's Youth League, advocating for more assertive action against apartheid. Initially committed to nonviolent resistance, Mandela played a crucial role in the defiance campaign of the 1950s, organizing peaceful protests against discriminatory laws. However, following the Sharpeville massacre in 1960, where peaceful protesters were killed by police, Mandela and the ANC leadership concluded that nonviolent means alone would not be sufficient to dismantle apartheid. In 1961, Mandela co-founded Umkhonto we Sizwe, Spear of the Nation, the armed wing of the ANC, which carried out acts of sabotage against strategic government installations. This led to his arrest in 1962 and subsequent trial for sabotage and conspiracy. In 1964, he and several other ANC leaders were sentenced to life imprisonment. Imprisonment and international symbol of resistance. Mandela spent the next 27 years in prison, most of them on Robben Island, a notorious prison off the coast of Cape Town. Despite the harsh conditions and isolation, he remained a symbol of resistance against apartheid, inspiring activists and consenter worldwide. The international campaign for his release gained momentum, with the United Nations and various governments imposing sanctions on South Africa. Release and transition to democracy. In 1990, amid growing domestic and international pressure, the South African government released Nelson Mandela from prison. He played a pivotal role in the negotiations with the government, led by President F.W. de Klerk, to dismantle apartheid and establish a multiracial democracy. Mandela and de Klerk jointly received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993 for their efforts in creating a new democratic South Africa. In 1994, South Africa held its first democratic elections, and Nelson Mandela became the country's first black president. Presidents